I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator, it's because he is. It's because he is. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully.
Is there something going on that we're missing?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, whose balls is he hiding in his cheeks?
Yeah.
That's the first question that I want to know. And I don't love the way he says, Pierce.
Yeah.
Tim Walz's squeaky clean image just went up in smoke, like a bonfire gone wild at a summer tailgate. Tyrus didn't show up to chat. He came locked, loaded, and ready to detonate. And wow, did he light that fuse. This wasn't some lazy, half-baked rant squeezed between commercial breaks. It was a full-blown demolition of Minnesota's so-called nice guy. In true Gutfeld fashion, Tyrus cracked open Walz's political vault like a raccoon with a crowbar. And what spilled out looked less like leadership and more like a deleted episode of Tiger King. Once the truth started flowing, there was no stopping it. Walz was cornered, sweating, and suddenly Minnesota nice turned into Minnesota nope.
It's because he is. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully, to watch this bully and to stop it. And when it's a child, you talk to them and you tell them why bullying's wrong. But when it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the out of him back. This is a weak, cruel man that takes it out.
You can almost picture it. Tyrus scrolling through headlines, coffee in hand, when he suddenly snaps. That's it. The clown show ends now. The air shifted. When Tyrus says enough, it's not a warning, it's a challenge. It's like a heavyweight stepping into the ring, mic in hand, ready to call out a politician in front of a roaring crowd. Greg Gutfeld jumped in, cracking jokes. I haven't seen a man this nervous since Brian Stelter heard about keto. The studio erupted. The vibe? Electric. Pure fireworks. If political takedowns had weight classes, this wasn't a fight. It was a championship brawl.
Is deeply part of it. And that's one of the, I think it goes, and you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement.
How do you fight it?
This
I
notion
think
of
I could kick most of their
What he's mad about is his own fault. He's mad about the image that was portrayed of him as the hunter. And who did that? You did that. We just laughed about it because the one thing you can't do is you can't front. You can't floss. Those are two key words when it comes to manhood.
If you're loving this roast, hit that subscribe button before Walz calls for another dramatic pause for reflection. Because Tyrus didn't just nudge the guy, he body slammed him straight into the national spotlight. The impact? Loud enough to shake Minnesota's calm image to its core. The friendly dad next door suddenly looked more like that neighbor who borrows your tools, never returns them, and then runs for office. His easygoing image cracked wide open, like a frozen Walmart parking lot in February. Gutfeld nailed it. You can slap a smile on mediocrity, but it still smells like government. The audience lost it. The truth hit harder than any punchline.
Yeah.
A teacher snatches the bully's ass up.
Yeah.
Come sit with me. That's why I know someone's bully. Oh, you can sit with me for a while. And then I would lean on him. I'd bully him back. He's not a teacher. He's not a politician. He's a creepy guy who can't remember his speeches. I don't know what the hell was in the water in that White House, or was everyone on the same bad cocaine? But Kamala can't speak. He can't speak. Biden was so high he couldn't remember anything. Like, this is literally the dumbest administration of all time. Why is he talking?
It really is the ultimate clown show. And I said this in the pod. He's a clown.
America's been sold the fairy tale of Tim Walz, the wholesome Midwestern hero. The guy mowing his lawn, waving at neighbors, showing up to the potluck with potato salad. But Tyrus took one look and said, "That's not potato salad. That's political mayo." He shredded that act like spoiled deli meat past its expiration date. Gutfeld piled on. You can practically see his campaign team rehearse that wave. 3 pumps, 1 nod, sprinkle of fake sincerity. To Tyrus, Walz wasn't genuine. He was an overcooked casserole of recycled slogans and passive leadership. Every bite tasted like leftover politics, reheated for prime time.
So bad for Elon. I would be furious if I was him. If this is who you sent to troll me?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong to get the guy from D Team to come out at Family Theater and call me names?
Yeah.
Like, Tim, I would, if they were like, oh, Tyrus, man, tough news cycle. Tim Walz is talking about you. I'd be like, oh, Timmy, I want to fight him.
Then came the knockout punch. Tyrus tore apart Walz's feel-good backstory, the teacher, the veteran, the coach, and smirked. Great resume, terrible sequel. Because once Walz got into office, the movie flopped. He went from small-town dad to big government dad, grounding everyone during lockdowns while sneaking out for takeout like nothing happened. Harris mocked. During COVID, you couldn't go to church, but hey, you could still buy booze and scratch-offs. The crowd roared. Gutfeld added, only in Minnesota can you buy whiskey at midnight, but get fined for breathing near a pew. Brutal, hilarious, and painfully true.
Tweets, my DMs, like just one arm, and I just want to slap the. He's so weak. He brings nothing. If you were gonna go after someone, man to man, hit him with a fact. Hit him with something real.
Yes.
You don't have anything. And here's the cold part. If Elon called him up and said, hey, Tim, you want a job? He would take it. Because that's what spineless, he would, and when he was questioned, he was like, I was just holding him in account. You know, I respect him and I'm so happy to be working for X. He is the worst player on their team and they don't mind sending him out because
They're trying to get him off the table.
Yeah.
They're putting him out early so he can't be a factor.
1 minute, Walz supports something. The next, he's against it, depending on whether CNN nods or frowns that day. Tyrus called it the Cirque du Soleil of politics. The crowd howled. The man's done more flips than the housing market under Biden, Gutfeld laughed. Tyrus added, at this rate, he should join Cirque du Soleil. At least there, he'd get paid to pretend. Walz's backflips are so constant, you half expect him to pull a hamstring mid-speech. It's fake relatability sold at Target, but with a Neiman Marcus price tag. That hypocrisy? Tyrus devours it for breakfast, and he never leaves leftovers.
Levine, look, he has a sports coat and a zip-up sweater underneath. No man wears that.
I may have done that in the past.
Yes.
I won't now, Tyrus.
Yeah, and one day somebody's going to explain what a corporate income tax is to these people. It's not paid by It's not paid by the corporation. It's not like a building that goes, I've got to pay taxes. It's the worker.
Politics isn't about truth anymore. It's theater. And Walz, he's the lead actor in a one-man magic show called The Everyman. Tyrus ripped him apart, calling it the children's magician act of governance. Every time Walz pulls something from his hat, it's another empty promise. And somehow, people still clap. Gutfeld joked, except instead of doves, it's just excuses. The illusion shattered during the pandemic. Gyms closed, liquor stores open, logic nowhere. And when riots hit, Walz froze like a deer in headlights. Tyrus mocked. He tried to fight chaos with a garden hose. Maybe next time, bring a plan instead of prayers.
Oh,
That's a big red flag. Whenever you meet someone and they have to give you their resume,
Yeah.
and then as soon as they talk, you're like, that's why you gave me your resume.
Yeah, because it doesn't speak for itself.
You suck.
Yeah. It's like when people have their PhD on their Twitter handle. It's like, this person's completely bonkers.
And their pronouns.
Yes. Are you mad, though, Tyrus, that, beards have been kind of co-opted by beta males like Tyler?
No, because
Watch what you
it's
say.
like all. Wait, hold on. Watch what I say. I will f- around, stick my hand up your back, and make you my puppet.
That's when Tyrus turned the whole thing into a sitcom. He painted Walz as the neighbor who promises to fix the fence, but shows up with duct tape and a podcast about empathy. Gutfeld lost it. He's like Mr. Rogers, if Mr. Rogers outsourced his neighborhood to a task force. Every grand promise sounded noble until reality sent the bill. Minnesota didn't get a utopia. It got a group project where everyone forgot the assignment. The end result? A PowerPoint of excuses held together by spin and duct tape.
The governor ran, the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy, feels sorry for him. But
By now, Tyrus was unstoppable. He compared Walz's leadership to karaoke, nails the first verse, mumbles through the rest. Gutfeld grinned. He talks about tax relief like it's a diet. Lots of talk, zero follow-through. The crowd erupted. Tyrus mocked the irony of the champion of working families, digging through those same families' couch cushions for spare change. Schools sliding downhill faster than a snowstorm on I-94. And the governor who once taught responsibility, now steering the state straight into a curriculum meltdown.
What do you make? Whoa, you got something there?
Hold on, before we do this, man, I got a protein up. Hold on.
chug, 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 chug. Oh, he's chugging it.
I need more protein, Gutfeld. I got my protein pudding, my protein shakes, jerky if you piss me off, but this ain't enough protein for this segment, Greg. I got an old school distillery here.
Where'd you get?
Then came the disaster, Law and Order. Gutfeld deadpanned. It's like watching the Titanic captained by a guy who just downloaded Google Maps. The room exploded. Walz preaches reform while cities burn and businesses vanish faster than his approval ratings. Every time he's cornered, he flashes that military background like a VIP pass. Tyrus pounced. Bro, this isn't Call of Duty. You don't get extra lives for flashbacks. He called Walz a mood ring politician, always changing color depending on which ghost whispers in his ear. Sharp, savage, unforgettable.
Gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? I gotta tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy. And
Tyrus hit peak form. Pure chaos meets comedy. Walz looks like the kind of guy who practices empathy in the mirror, he joked. More concern, honey? Less jaw clench? The crowd lost it. Gutfeld added, if sincerity were Wi-Fi, his would drop every 3 minutes. Walz's version of unity worked about as well as family Monopoly note. Flipped boards, flying insults, and someone faking a stomachache to leave early. Tyrus went in harder. Tim Walz is what happens when you give a substitute teacher the nuclear codes. Gutfeld piled on. He governs like leadership means talking slower and waving your hands. Walz's task force on pizza toppings joke sealed it. Leadership had never looked so cluelessly confident.
Former VP nominee Tim Walz, he joined Beto O'Rourke at a Texas town hall last night, and the estrogen levels were enough to give Chuck Norris menstrual cramps. I wonder, is our strength our diversity?
Our strength is our diversity. We've been talking about this for years as a country of immigrants, and we let them define the issue on immigration. We let them define the issue on DEI, and we let them define what woke is. We got ourselves in this mess because we weren't bold enough to stand up and say, you damn right we're proud of these policies. We're going to put them in, and we're going to execute them.
So, wait, you lost because you weren't woke?
By the finale, Tyrus stripped away every layer of fake charm. What was left wasn't Minnesota nice, it was Minnesota manufactured. The audience laughed, but they knew it was true. The contradictions, the posing, the endless I'm just like you routine, it all collapsed under its own weight. Gutfeld closed it perfectly. Walz is what happens when you order authenticity from Wish. The crowd went wild. Tyrus landed the final jab. He's running Minnesota like he's building IKEA furniture. Blindfolded, missing screws, but full of confidence. When the curtain dropped, not even that cozy cardigan could cover the cracks. Gutfeld grinned. Tim Walz isn't leading Minnesota, he's babysitting it. The laughter was thunderous, but beneath it all was the truth.